Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously, but at a time of a $1 trillion sports business. Happy holidays between the Thanksgiving and Christmas seasons, and also after Black Friday, after Thanksgiving. Went to Dubai for 10 days and found some perspective. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, 9 golf courses in Dubai, seeing even Pop Warner kids, the United Arab Emirates Eagles, coming to the Pop Warner Super Bowl that I was involved in. You'll hear later on in the show. What an incredible event that ties domestic sports with international sports and youth sports in a neat bow. We'll cover all of that in a little while. But first, let's talk a little bit about some of the positives that have happened as far as numbers. First of all, in baseball, first championship in over 100 years, as we know, Cubs increased their season tickets by as much as 31%. But 19.5% for the average price, and team executives largely pointed to the massive spike in demand for season tickets, and some StubHub tickets went for an average of 96% above their face value. Postseason tickets, 670% above their face value. Cubs raised season ticket prices following successful seasons over the past few decades, but none of those instances came anywhere close to this year's. And after 108 years, I guess management deserves a break for attempting to capitalize and monetize. And then, how about individual college programs? Ohio State has tremendous success on the football field, but also off the field. Beer sales this season for home football games expected to pass the $1 million threshold. I guess Ohioans like their beer, especially when the Buckeyes are playing like they are. $1.1 million. And bottom line is, Ohio State always been one of the top 5 revenue-producing schools in the sports nation. Obviously, Urban Meyer's run will continue to set that standard, and other schools see it as an interesting challenge to increase their revenues as well. Revenue in baseball, revenue in television, revenue in college sports, all of that drives the train. We'll have perspective on youth football as well as the perspective on the MLS Cup, the soccer championship coming up. Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard. Be back in a minute.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-499-MY-TV.
Right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $24.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Cancel the cable, cut costs, and get more.
Call now, 877-499-MY-TV. That's 877-499-MY-TV.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Sometimes what you want most from your car is nothing. No headaches, no surprises, no anxiety when it's late at night and you're on some distant freeway in a thunderstorm. Owning a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz can be that anxiety-free experience on every level. You know you're in one of the safest and most thoughtfully engineered vehicles on the road. And with an unlimited mileage warranty, you can drive as far as you want for up to 3 years, with roadside assistance included. Your sense of confidence and adventure are as unlimited as the warranty itself. Now you can drive the car of your dreams and realize that nothing is everything. And during the certified pre-owned sales event, now through August 31st, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and 0.99% APR financing on select models, available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties. APR offer available only to qualified customers. Call 1-800-FOR-MERCEDES for details about costs and terms.
Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard. Youth sports take center stage. National Council of Youth Sports talks about 60 million participants, 58% increase in the last 10 years, 34% increase in female sports, and a lot of it has to do with Pop Warner, their cheer, their Pop Warner football, and a whole host of other things that they're doing. The bottom line of all of this is that nearly 325,000 participants, 225,000 football, 100,000 cheer and dance, talking about all of those issues at ESPN's Wide World of Sports at their Super Bowl championship in early December. Here's some of that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's the beginning of the coin toss for the Challenger division of the Pop Warner National Championship. I'm Rick Horrow, and welcome to Keeping Score. Welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard. Welcome to our podcast/Facebook that describes inside look at a variety of different kinds of things. Today, it's a combination of things. The fun and diversity that is Pop Warner. We'll talk not only to John Butler, the executive director, about the football side of this, which is about 225,000 participants around the globe, 10 million alum, by the way, but also the cheer side of this. Kelly Nicholson talking about, timeout. I guess Mickey Mouse. Yeah, this is Disney. So only at Disney would you have Mickey Mouse carrying out the first ball. And by the way, 32 NFL teams, I think probably a lot of the guys would appreciate that because he's not going to get tackled. I think that's one of the deals. So that's enough diversion. From a serious perspective, Disney has become the industry leader in sports facilities. Just to take a look at it, 70 sports, 225 acres, 100-plus events a year. The biggest non-Disney related event at this facility happens to be the Pop Warner Super Bowl, with over 10,000 athletes on the Guys Week with John Butler, the executive director. We'll also talk about the cheer and the dance side of this, by the way, which was just named a... Are we still okay? Good. People are calling left and right. We're talking about Pop Warner. We're championship, but it also talks about the number of events, nearly 100 events here with football and 415 cheer squads. I'm stealing John Butler's thunder. John Butler is the executive director and basically the chief executive officer of Pop Warner. Full disclosure, I've been on the Pop Warner board. We're going to ask the tough questions anyway because it's a very important understanding of youth football, youth sports, youth dance, youth cheer. John, how are you?
Great. How can you be bad on a day like this with these kids out here having fun?
It's unbelievable, and frankly, it's an event that needs to be put in perspective as well. So, first, let's talk about Pop Warner. Pop Warner founded in 1929, and give us a little bit of history and where you are today.
It was founded a long time ago in North Philadelphia with what I have to believe was a different-sounding motivation at the time, was to keep kids off the streets and out of trouble. And I have to believe that there's much more need for that today than there was in 1929, because I think things were a whole lot more benign in terms of kids' behavior then versus now. So we're delighted to do that. We are the only national youth sports program that requires satisfactory progress in schools, so we really believe in the combining of a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Well, let's talk about some of the unique aspects of Pop Warner. First of all, as far as participation goes, the stats that I've seen, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you have about 325,000 total
participants in Pop Warner, 225,000 football, 100,000 dance and cheer, but it's been steady for the last 4 years.
Yeah,
right?
That's correct. Our numbers have been good. They've remained solid, and we think that's great under the circumstances.
Well, let's talk about the circumstances. Let's get it out right now. The Hollywood treatment of concussions, but also the legitimate issue of CTE and all of the links. The science is evolving. How is Pop Warner, A, dealing with the situation, and B, evolving with the science?
Well, it starts back in 2010. We established our own medical advisory committee, and with their advice, we were the first national youth sports organization to create our own concussion rule modeled on the Lysted Law from Washington State. And it's real simple. It says any head injury, participant is removed from play and can't return to participation until signed off on by a medical professional trained in concussion recognition. So it takes any questions, any pressure off the coach to say, gee, is he hurt? Does he have a concussion? Doesn't he? We'll let the medical professionals take care of that. Going forward in 2012, we were the first football organization at any level to institute rules limiting the amount and type of contact we allow in practice, which we have since modified further. And then this year for the 2016 season, we eliminated kickoffs in our 3 youngest age classes.
So those are factual responses to a problem. From an emotional perspective, is the media doing an adequate job of presenting the facts? Everybody worries about his own kid, male, female. Should they play football? What protections is Pop Warner having? Pop Warner is just one organization. There are a lot of others. So speak to that broadly.
Well, we now have statistics by an outside research organization showing that versus non-Pop Warner programs, in practice, we have 87% fewer overall injuries, 76% fewer concussions, and that was prior to eliminating kickoffs. So we're very proud of that. Certainly, the doctors in our medical advisory committee continue to remind us that we can't act in advance of the science. So with all the research going on, if further change is warranted, we certainly will be happy to do so. There's a tremendous amount of research going on now. We're finding out more every day, and in many ways, it's an exciting time.
It's an exciting time, but it's also a difficult time. There's a time of significant risk. I know for a fact that the insurance industry is needed to provide some significant support to the economics of this world. The premiums can crush you. So where is that going?
Nobody knows. Certainly, we're trying to work with the insurance industry to show that we have made the game safer, and we'll continue to do so. Also, a lot of doctors are now coming out, particularly in the pediatric area, saying that the dangers of inactivity far outweigh the dangers of any organized youth sports. I heard recently from a presentation from the CDC that if every child in America would do the minimum recommendation of 150 minutes of activity a week, we would have reduce long-term medical care costs by $52 billion, and those kids would live 37.5 million more years.
That's a lot of time.
You got it.
Love that time.
Yeah.
We're about to, I guess, have a game on this field, but before we start walking again, how do we wrap up the concussion issue? Put a bow on it for us, at least for now. Predict what's going to happen in the next 5 years and what you're doing about it.
Well, as I said, there's a tremendous amount of research. We are ready to respond any time for that. I found very interesting a study not too long ago out of Minnesota that found that the rate of dementia in the football players was exactly the same as the kids who had been in the band and the chorus. So I think there's something. I think tends to be an overreaction right now towards concussions in football. Kids get concussions in a whole variety of ways, and football is not the only one by any means. We're making the game safer. Combination
of leveling factual expectations
but also doing things about it, staying ahead of the science.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's never going to be any right answer on this. We all understand that. But let's go on to a couple other things. And by the way, Morgan Madigan is our executive producer, and she is responsible for delivering the quality of the broadcast for the next 40 minutes. So I want to make sure there's no pressure on you, okay? And we're going to start by walking over to the sideline and continuing this conversation. Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
$100 million in jury verdicts and settlements for serious injury victims, medical malpractice victims, and surviving family members of wrongful death victims. Trial Lawyers for Justice. This is a firm that does not handle frivolous lawsuits. They go after insurance company money, and they're darn good at it. They don't sell their clients out or settle cheaply. Trial Lawyers for Justice, the firm that goes the distance for you, their client. They treat their clients the way you would want your own family members taken care of. Nicholas Rowley, Dominic Pachota, and the other trial lawyers in the firm at Trial Lawyers for Justice, dedicated to representing the people and their families in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Illinois, California, Wyoming, and many other states. Trial Lawyers for Justice. $100 million in settlements and jury verdicts already in 2016. 888-811-0844. TL4J.com. Trial Lawyers for Justice.
Tired of calls, levies, and liens from the IRS or hiring others who don't get the job done? Call Wall & Associates and you'll never talk to the IRS again. The IRS has a program to eliminate tax debt, and Wall & Associates professionals are trained to maximize its benefits for you. You always speak with a live person with real support and real knowledge. We've helped thousands of taxpayers like you settle their tax debt with the IRS for a fraction of what they owe. We solve tax problems. Call Wall & Associates now. 800-480-5708. We have the professionals who know how to solve tax problems. If you owe money to the IRS, your tax problems are not going away by themselves, and the passage of time will only make matters worse. Act now, before it's too late. Call Wall & Associates right now to speak to a professional tax relief agent. Call 800-480-5708. That's 800-480-5708. Again, 800-480-5708.
Rick Horrow, sports professor, Beyond the Scoreboard. How do we wrap up the concussion issue? Put a bow on it for us, at least for now. Predict what's going to happen in the next 5 years and what you're doing about it.
Well, as I said, there's a tremendous amount of research. We are ready to respond any time for that. I found very interesting a study not too long ago out of Minnesota that showed found that the rate of dementia in the football players was exactly the same as the kids who had been in the band and the chorus. So I think there's something, I think tends to be an overreaction right now towards concussions in football. Kids get concussions in a whole variety of ways, and football is not the only one by any means. We're making the game safer.
Combination of leveling factual expectations, but also doing things about it, staying ahead of the science.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's never going to be any right answer on this. We all understand that. But let's go on to a couple other things. And, by the way, Morgan Madigan is
is our executive producer, and she is responsible for delivering the quality of this broadcast for the next 40 minutes. So I want to make sure there's no pressure on you, okay? And we're going to start by walking over to the sideline and continuing this conversation. So maybe you go this way, and you and I then walk back, and we try to adjust the sound.
UAE players. Where are they here? Yep, there.
Good. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that as soon as you finish with this, which I think is important. So, look, we're also in a different perspective as far as Pop Warner is concerned. You have a relationship with the NFL. The NFL has USA Football, which they're also funding. They have their Heads Up initiative. How do you work directly with the NFL? Is there room for improvement? Are you happy with the way the NFL has dealt with this whole world?
We've had a great relationship, and it really is a three-way relationship between the NFL, USA Football, and us. We require all of our coaches to take the Heads Up football training program, which we believe very strongly in. We've said to the NFL, and they realize that, we're doing it the right way. We're doing absolutely the best we know to do, and as I mentioned, we'll be glad to continue evolving and changing the game. I mean, if you look back over 150 years of history of football, how it's evolved from where it was to where it is today, this is another step in the evolution.
Yeah, and so the one thing I've learned about Pop Warner on my board membership, as well as just learning about how people perceive this organization, is you have an amazingly loyal alumni base, 10 million plus, and you tap them, and you have people who have played in the NFL, but also successful business people who will do anything for you.
Yep. And it's the other thing that's fascinating is, give you an example. A couple years ago, I was introduced to Dominic Foxworth, who at the time was the president of the NFL Players Association. As soon as I said, I'm John Butler, I'm with Pop Warner, he immediately started reminiscing. I remember playing in the Pop Warner Super Bowl at Disney World.
Pop Warner, the way I can see it, is like your favorite high school or junior high school teacher, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you look back at that, and it's sky's the limit as far as talking about them and feeling good about them. And you have 10 million of those ambassadors.
Exactly.
Kind of interesting. Tell us a little bit about the age groups and just a little elevator speech about Pop Warner. You've got 5 to 15. The core is kind of 8 to 12, exactly. And you got a challenger division. So talk a little bit about that.
We are in 38 states. We've got, as you mentioned, 325,000 young athletes involved. Everybody's got one of the interesting twists is we are open to both genders and both sports. So we have girls playing football. We've had a few down here this week. We have boys cheerleading. We have challenger division. We've had some very moving performances in cheer this week. We have a challenger football game going on behind us, and we try to be as absolutely as inclusive as possible for a whole variety of kids, and about 30% of our programs are in inner cities, so this is a very positive thing for them.
Tell us about Pop Warner Little Scholars. You have 8,500 annual awards given to kids who are above 96 grade point average, which is unbelievable.
They are just, and every year you just kind of go, whoa, this is an astounding group of young people. We tell them not to even submit an application unless they have at least a 96. We actually involve other addendum items just as a tiebreaker, and we award about $100,000 in college scholarships every year to the oldest of those scholars.
Yeah, and it gets better every year. Before we take a break for international, let's talk cheer for a minute. Good news this last week, cheerleading awarded provisional Olympic status. Now, it takes 7 years to shake it all out. They talk about 100 countries, and cheer is on the verge of becoming an Olympic sport. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. Excuse me. It truly is a sport, and I think one of the things that is very controversial, but in Title IX in the U.S., which is now, I believe, 43 years old, it says specifically cheerleading is not a sport, it's an extracurricular activity. That was probably true 43 years ago. No longer. It is very athletic, very gymnastic, and very demanding, and we feel very strongly that it is a sport, should be declared a sport both internationally and nationally.
And, of course, not that simple. Are there some legal, legislative clearly, but are there some legal issues that dictate treatment of cheer differently if it's a sport versus not?
One or two states have declared it a sport at the high school level through their high school federations, but certainly there's legal considerations. I know there have been a couple of lawsuits over competitive cheerleading in colleges. They are trying to work it out and figure, and colleges now, if they want both a sideline cheer squad for football and basketball and other sports, and a competitive squad, they have to be separate athletes, separate squads, and it gets very convoluted.
Yeah, but hopefully this will clarify one way or another as the Olympic folk work through this. At least people understand that there is a platform to argue more than before that it is a sport.
Absolutely.
Clearly. All right, let's talk international, and then we've got a couple other special guests. 10 international teams here, but how is Pop Warner growing internationally?
We've had a league in Japan for probably 15 to 20 years now. We've got programs in Mexico that have been in for quite a while, and we're talking to the international folks about them becoming full members. They're here playing exhibition games. Love to have them in as full members of Pop Warner.
We'll talk Disney and ESPN and Wide World of Sports and what this venue is like in a couple minutes.
Okay.
But let's give the viewers a break from you, and let's talk about the reach that you have, including to the UAE. Just got back from Dubai, and I saw people playing while I was there. American football, you couldn't believe it. But one of the major bedrock foundations of international expansion of Pop Warner is the Emirates American Football League. So, guys, come on over.
Reggie.
These are guys from the EAFL
Awesome.
Falcons. Patrick Campos runs the league.
Patrick, you take this, and we don't have a big budget here, Patrick. I'm Rick Horrow. We have a mic, and you got to hold it.
No problem. I can do that.
And you guys, what's your name? Louis. And what's your name? Joaquin and Louis. And Patrick, we're proud of you because I've done a little research, including, by the way, being over in Abu Dhabi and Dubai for 9 straight days this last week.
Oh, wow.
The Grand Prix, 9 golf courses, did some stuff for Facebook Live at the Grand Prix, Rugby Sevens. The most dynamic thing I saw was a camel race, which is unbelievable. Okay, can you guys outrun a camel? No? No, sir. Maybe. It's tough, right? You can out-toughen the camel. So, Patrick, the one thing that I realized looking at Sport 360 and looking at some of the stuff is that, first of all, you're tenacious. Second of all, you're entrepreneurial. And third of all, and I'll let you tell the story, but you got 53 nationals, 53 different nations represented, and you also had tournaments in Serbia and Sri Lanka that you attended. So you basically are the pilgrim leader for American football as it goes east and west. So cool. How are you?
Thank you very much. Now, well, first of all, I mean, it's really been a community effort. My partner Dustin Chernosky and other partner who happens to be my wife as well, Julie Tepero, along with this fantastic community. Again, as you say, very multinational community, have put this together. We played, as you said, in Serbia, Sri Lanka, places like China and Germany and Amsterdam, and we've had teams from Kazakhstan and Russia come in to play us as well. We love doing this internationally. We love what Patrick's doing, and it was sort of a natural marriage with Patrick to bring this together and come out here.
So I'm driving to the Els course the first night, and I'm looking at the fields, and I'm thinking, wait a second, those aren't rugby goalposts, those are American goalposts. What the heck's going on? And then I see you guys probably practicing on the way here. That's an incredible, how many people in your whole organization?
So we've got about 450 players. We say that our community number is close to 5,000 when you start including all the families and everything else. We've got about, like I said, 24 teams comprising 6 clubs. So it's grown dramatically.
So where's your family from?
My family's from England.
Oh, okay. And how long you been in Dubai, Abu Dhabi?
I've been in Dubai for 5 years now.
Okay. And you decided that football, you could do anything, right? You do rugby.
I did play rugby. I got a bit bored and decided to try something new.
Wow, a bit bored in rugby and he's football. That's a poster child for this.
It's possibly the best decision of my life.
Yeah. How long you been playing?
4 years now.
And what position?
I play linebacker.
Are you tough?
Yeah, I would say I'm tough.
Is he tough?
He is tough.
Yeah.
You should see his dad.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you got to grow a couple feet, but that'll happen.
Yes, sir.
Right? Are you quick?
Yeah.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, the 60th Super Bowl, 20th at Disney for Pop Warner, an organization that has gone well beyond its brand. Full disclosure, I've been on the board for a number of years, and it's certainly worth it. Disney Sports, by the way, and ESPN's Wide World of Sports, 70 sports, 225 acres, and over 200 events per year. They're even building a new arena for even more. Clearly, youth sports is there. First rate. Disney, Pop Warner, a great combination.
And now, today's General Steel building tip. Buy a large lot with a friend or family member that can be split into two smaller lots. Some of the most appealing properties may be much larger than what you want or can afford. Yet the seller may not be willing to break up a large parcel. So if you can share the costs with someone else, preferably someone you don't mind having as a neighbor, you may be able to pick up a great building site for a reasonable price. And now, a word from General Steel.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-95-STEEL.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 877-663-7126 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 877-663-7126 to take your call now. Call 877-663-7126. That's 877-663-7126. Again, 877-663-7126.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply. Subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow beyond the scoreboard. MLS Cup Finals coming up. The weekend is a celebration of Major League Soccer growth. Over 15 new markets are looking to get in, even though the expansion franchise fee goes for over $100 million. Soccer obviously past its worry about being the fifth major sport, now looking at a niche as one of the world's best leagues. Doug Hamilton, Executive of the Year winner in 2012 and 2014, is the Bill Manning world of Toronto FC soccer. He was involved in Real Salt Lake and Rio Tinto Stadium for 8 seasons. Now involved with Toronto FC. Guess what? The first Canadian team to make the MLS Cup final ever. Here's what Bill Manning has to say about that and other things.
Rick Horrow keeping score in the boardroom yet again. We talk soccer today, but we also talk soccer internationally. Bill Manning, the president of Toronto FC, 8 seasons with Real Salt Lake and Rio Tinto Stadium. By the way, 2009 MLS Cup Championship. And he's done a whole lot of other things as well. And the bottom line is the recipient of the Major League Soccer Doug Hamilton Executive Award for Executive of the Year in 2012, 2014. So the real thing. How's that for an intro?
Not bad, Rick.
All right, awesome. So you're up in Toronto. You were very successful in Salt Lake. The whole future of soccer in North America depends on not only how you and your contemporaries build the brand and continue the momentum, but obviously the MLS has to do its part by building a strong international brand as well. So assess all of that for us.
It's I don't think there's one easy answer, if that makes sense. But I think you're perceptive, Rick, in that the league right now is, I wouldn't say it's at a crossroads. It was at a crossroads in mid-2000s. Right now, I believe it's at that next step for us. No longer does anyone talk about our team's going to fold, right? It's about what new cities are going to come into the league. I think now the next step for us is, are we able to recruit more world-class players like a Giovanni Dos Santos and a Sebastian Giovinco that are in their prime, as opposed to some of the players that have come over towards more the end of their career? And, I do think over the next 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to see a migration towards, players that are in their prime, maybe not as big a name as an Andre Pirlo or Frank Lampard, Sebastian Giovinco was not as big a name as those guys, but has made a massive impact on the playing level in this league. And I think you're going to see more of that happening over the years, especially with some of the new ownership groups coming in.
Well, Bill, you hit the presumptive big question on the head, if that's not mixing a whole bunch of metaphors, because people who are football/soccer fans around the globe all speak about the untapped potential in the North American market, but that potential arguably has been untapped since the North American Soccer League in my old generation, back with Canalia and Beckenbauer and all those guys in the 70s. And now that we have a compare and contrast that's pretty easy with the Premier League on Saturday and Sunday mornings on North American TV, we see how far, in many ways, the MLS has to go. But it's all about budget and it's all about players. So you talk about the middle-level sales and the middle-level recruiting, but what do you think really is the next structural step? Is it more special players? Is it branding, a combination? What's the deal?
No, I always, I'm one of these executives that everything for me always comes back to the field. And I believe that if you have a good product and if you have good players, people want to see that. And, Rick, you mentioned the influence now of TV with fans able to watch basically some of the best soccer in the world, obviously, with Premier League, Serie A is readily available on TV, Champions League, German Bundesliga, which, does provide a fix for soccer fans where maybe they don't look at Major League Soccer. But what we've found is as we've improved our level of play, people have maybe a favorite team in Europe and they have their favorite local team here, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we, again, have to continue to focus on the level of play for our league. And I think, we have the 3 designated player rules, but I think what you'll see next, Rick, as your question alluded to, is there'll be more depth. So players, 4 through 8 I think there'll be more mechanisms the league's going to allow us to get better players in those slots, which, for me, at the end of the day, improves our quality of play, and I think that's what our fans want. The big mistake I think any executive could make is when they devalue the knowledge that the fans have of soccer. What I've found over, doing this 20-plus years is the American and the Canadian fan of MLS is very, very knowledgeable of soccer. And it's not just, a soccer mom who pulled up and doesn't know anything about soccer. It's our fans are very knowledgeable about the sport. And if we ever lose sight of that, it's a mistake.
Well, that leads to maybe the younger fan / younger player. In your estimation, is the MLS doing a good job in cultivating homegrown Americans and Canadians?
I think it's an evolving process. I'll tell you, I believe that the level of talent, the depth of the young players coming up is light years ahead of where it was 20 years ago and 10 years ago. Most teams are investing a significant amount of money now in our academy systems where we're essentially controlling the development of our players. And what you see now is, I remember, and Rick, I'm sure you do, we had baseball cards, right? I could tell you every statistic of every single baseball player in the 1970s and 80s. But now this younger generation, everything is EA Sports. It's FIFA, so they literally know every single player in the world and all their statistics through just playing video games. And it's fascinating to me that these young boys and girls coming up aspire to these, great players, and MLS is in North America is the avenue of choice. And these kids are developing, and we are helping them develop by having these academies and the right coaches that can help them develop. When I was growing up, you had the old football and baseball coaches trying to coach soccer.
Yeah, and clearly now you do have a distinction. And what about the markets? It's the expansion opportunities, and Don Garber is great on the stump. The prices, it is not inconceivable at the next round of expansion. You're up in the $200 million number, although nobody will talk about what the price is. But the bottom line is you have Oklahoma City and Cincinnati and Louisville and all of those cities striving to get in. I assume good for the league, huh?
Oh yeah, whenever I always talk about it because I remember the days when they would talk about when's the next team going to fold, and now we talk about where's the next expansion city, and it's very exciting. It's exciting, when I left the NFL in 2008 to make the jump back to Real Salt Lake. I worked for a guy named Dave Feckets who I thought was a wonderful owner. But people thought I was crazy to leave the NFL. I was vice president of sales with the Eagles, and I remember making that jump and getting in there and saying, "Oh, what did I do?" Because the league was, still just coming out of a difficult period, and our growth over the last 8 or 9 years has been tremendous. And to see a team like Cincinnati in the USL or a team like Sacramento drawing 20,000 plus every single game, you say to yourself, man, the sport has found its niche in the North American marketplace.
How do you seamlessly move those, Oklahoma City's, others, into a primary league, let's say? You talk to the guys, Jake Edwards and others, and they tell you that the USL is perfectly positioned as the second-tier league in a system that all countries have. But Americans don't understand that issue. They don't even understand what relegation is. And so we're not doing that here. But challenges to harmonize down the road?
When you say harmonize, what do you mean now?
Creating a uniform system of USL relating to MLS. I know we have another league that is still out there, and I know it's fighting for position as well. But let's put it this way. Where do you think all of the leagues structurally are, let's say, 5 years from now?
Yeah, well, I think the MLS-USL relationship right now is very strong. The MLS second teams play currently in the USL, and it's perfect because they have cities like Cincinnati, like Sacramento, that are not in MLS, that maybe aspire to be into MLS and have really grown a nice fan base around those franchises. And then you have the development of young players that are getting very good position with your MLS teams. And so for me, it's a perfect world. It's kind of a hybrid AAA baseball, if for lack of better words. So I believe that at the end of the day, it'll be MLS and the USL. I've been disappointed that the NASL has not wanted to have more of a relationship with MLS, and you know, it's look, they want to run the league the way they want, but to me, it's not a comparison to MLS, and which is what it is. So I do see the MLS-USL relationship prospering as it goes on.
Working together with other sports teams in Toronto, this is a local question for you. You have the benefit of a larger organization that looks at promoting all of the sports, at least hockey and basketball too. So, snapshot of your organization today and how it runs and how it works in Toronto.
Yeah, you know, it's been fabulous. I am so pleased that I came here, and you know, the dialogue that I've had with Brendan Shanahan, and to sit with Lou Lamoriello and to talk to him about how he built his championship teams in the Devils. Masai and I share notes a lot about the culture of winning, and it's really for me, it's been a great unit that we've come together here at MLSE, and for the first time ever under there's Vision 2020, but for the first time in this company's history, the number one priority is winning championships. And they've really given the teams all the resources we need to and allow us to autonomously run these teams, but to do what we need to do to win. And then we have this machine that is MLSE that sells tickets and corporate partnerships and merchandise better than any organization I've ever been with. And so it's if you can, and I say this, so you know, if you can have a good product on the field, and the Raptors have done that. I think the Maple Leafs will do that with Lou and Brendan. The revenue with this organization, the way it's set up, I think will just continue to grow at double-digit growth every single year.
Bill Manning, the president of Toronto FC, their first MLS Cup in history, Canada's first MLS Cup in history, certainly soccer growing significantly. Youth sports, Disney, Pop Warner, great combination coming up next. Beyond the Scoreboard in a minute, coming back.
We all know healthcare has changed drastically. It's quite the puzzle to sort through your options and find a health insurance plan that's affordable and maximizes your benefits. And you're now required by law to have health insurance, or you may pay a tax penalty. So let the Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. They offer plans from over 120 different companies and can even help you obtain government subsidies. Let them do all the research for you and show you how affordable health insurance can be, a service that's at no extra cost to you. Call now and learn your options to find affordable health insurance. 800-614-1242. 800-614-1242, 800-614-1242, 800-614-1242. Health Markets Insurance Agency is a DBA or assumed name of Insphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is a licensed insurance agency in all 50 states and D.C. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service availability varies by state.
Attention, if you've had hip replacement surgery and suffered any complications, you need to listen to this important legal alert. Major manufacturers have made billions of dollars available to award legal claims for defective hip implants. Thousands of these defective hip implants have been recalled by various manufacturers. If you've had hip surgery and suffered complications, you may be entitled to receive significant compensation to help you deal with your complications. You may be eligible to receive money to help with medical expenses, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Protect yourself by hiring an experienced trial attorney. Our partner law firms are experts in hip replacement surgery lawsuits. Find out now if you're eligible to receive any of the $2.5 billion hip settlement fund. Call now for free information. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. 800-296-1360. That's 800-296-1360.
Fanatics.com is the place to get your favorite licensed college football fan gear. It's also the place to win the hottest bowl tickets for the season. Pull out your phone and Shazam this ad now for your chance to win an all-inclusive bowl game experience for two. Plus $250 to deck yourself out in officially licensed gear from Fanatics. Inside, you'll also find Fanatics merchandise, apps, and more. If you want to be on the sidelines of the biggest bowl games, Shazam now. If you're a sports fan and you love your team, you gotta check out Fanatics.com. Fanatics is the best place for fan gear from the most trusted brands. Authentic fan gear from the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA college football and basketball. Jerseys, hoodies, t-shirts, hats, collectibles, and more. It's the world's largest collection of official fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Everything officially licensed. Go to Fanatics.com for gear and show love for your teams this season. Fanatics. Love never loses.
Sports professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard, the serious show that doesn't take itself too seriously. We've had some perspective on Major League Soccer at their Cup. Bill Manning, Toronto FC, talked about Pop Warner, youth sports, and Disney. And now it's time for Bust, Boom, and Hope. The bad, the good, and the creative in our economy. First, Bust. University of Louisville could wind up vacating the downtown Yum Center and building its own on-campus arena following remarks from University AD Tom Jurich. According to the Courier-Journal, he noted the Cardinals feel unwanted at the downtown facility. He said, if they don't want us in there, just tell us. We'll leave. Sources close to the deal between Louisville and the Yum Center say the lease agreement favors the university, which could be the first step of this budding conflict. The arena, dealing with $690 million in outstanding construction bonds, looking toward the university to help shoulder some of that debt. The arena's acted as an economic stable and social hub for downtown Louisville business district since its opening in 2010. And if UL elects to leave, it could have severe consequences on the city, but it also could be leveraged for a new economic deal. Or is it really an opportunity for a second arena in the region? And could an NBA team follow downtown? We'll have to see. How about Boom? Fresh off his 60-point performance with the Indiana Pacers against them, Warriors guard Klay Thompson offered a new multi-year shoe extension from Chinese shoe brand Anta. If Thompson accepts a deal, it would place him among the highest-earning footwear endorsers in the league. He used to be represented by Nike, but left the preeminent basketball shoe company back in 2014 to sign with Anta. The current deal, in place through 2019-2020, pays him over $3 million annually after base compensation, with bonus incentives and sales royalties combined in that number. Thompson's new deal rumored to be up to $9 million per year if all performance incentive bonuses and sales royalties are met. And by the way, the Warriors collectively become an incredibly compelling brand. New Chase Arena, deals for Steph Curry, worldwide popularity of Kevin Durant, and now Klay Thompson getting into the act in a big way. The sky's the limit for Joe Lacob and his Warriors. And finally, hope. That's our show for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank Bill Manning. I'd like to thank Pop Warner's, Guys, Disney, Youth Sports, and everyone else for giving our show some interesting perspective. And join us next week when we go Beyond the Scoreboard.